Morning everyone. This is my Stillman and Burn watercolor sketchbook. It's quite thick watercolor paper, as you can see, and it holds quite a bit of water. The thing that I would suggest is that you don't scrub too much on the paper because it still sort of loosens the little tooth of the paper. I think for today I'm going to paint part of this, and then the rest will be on Patreon or on in my online school. And I'm just going to quickly sketch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw one single line for now, short one, and then I'm going to try and sketch some of these little petals in, just quick. We're not looking for perfection. This is a fun painting for us to just in the morning before work, or in the afternoon when you have a moment and you want to just paint a bit and you don't have too much time on your hand. And let me just hold it like this so you can see what I do. Just painting in a few little leaves, and they're not all across from each other, they're always a little bit and you'll see I draw it right through the stem, and if I make a mistake I'll just rub it out and fix it because I want it to look same length. Got this little leaf from the garden, so, and just tiny, then it goes a little bit thinner at the top and then a bit fatter and then narrow to the bottom again and up. No perfection here, this is for fun. And that one I can't really see the bottom because it's behind this one, and that's how I'm going to draw it. There you go. And then a few at the top. Easy. I'm not sure what this plant is. Got a beautiful purple flower. I'll actually check it and give you the name. I'm not sure what the name is. And then this one is more like this way. And there you go. And can already see that. Yeah, Amanda, you already had too much coffee. We are just in summer now. Beautiful. It's so strange because everyone is going into winter. Most people that we are into summer, like Australia and a few other countries, but it's fun anyway. So again, these little bottom ones are much smaller. I'm going to map it in. There you go. So that's basically just a quick little study. You can add more, but I'm just going to leave it at this for now, and we're going to just use the olive green that I have on this palette. This is my Sminky watercolor palette, and that's the green we will be using with a little bit of yellow ochre. Thank you, Abigail, for my coffee. And maybe a little bit of lemon yellow. So let's mix this color here. And I've got clean water. I've got a bit of clean water here and a beautiful garden green view. And what a magical place to paint. So this is not my normal place where I paint. You can hear my husband's pruning my roses. Well, just some of them, because some of them are going like crazy. I will show you one day. But I normally paint in my studio, especially my online tutorials for Patreon. I normally paint in a different place. So, but it's just fun to sit here and have a view. The pool is on the right here. All the greenery of this garden is so tropical. It's a lot more protected than most of the garden. And I'm also going to take a drop of yellow ochre and put it on the bottom there. This set is Sminky. I bought it very long ago. I still have a few little places to fill up. But I bought a whole set of Magello watercolors, which I'm also going to bring down and just make another palette for me for down here. It's lovely, beautiful watercolors. Wow, I bought it from Amazon and they delivered so quickly. So the little lines, I'm not going to be worried about the pencil lines because it's a sketchbook, so I'm not going to be worrying too much about it. And I am going to just fix this one little marking there. And what I normally do is I paint the first leaves in, or the first layer of watercolor, and then I rub it out with my eraser, because sometimes you can still rub out your first layer of watercolors, not always but most of the time. So what I am going to paint in quickly is the stem, which I'm going to use some lemon yellow just mixed there with a bit of yellow ochre and a drop of this olive green. So most of my watercolors are translucent, but there are some colors that I use that are not translucent, so just wanted to mention that to you. So I just drew one pencil line, as you can see there, and then obviously this is a bit too thick, but just make sure you have a tissue paper ready or handy, and then I'm just going to drop it in. So this is just loose watercolors for fun. The more detailed watercolors are on my Patreon page, and there we paint serious watercolors a lot more in depth. I do have a video on YouTube for you to see. I painted a shell in detail. And so what I do is I take my brush and I'm not going to be exact, and this is just a quick study, like I said, and I just dab my brush so that certain sections are a bit darker than other sections. And then also, you know, you can go out of the line in certain sections just to create those little knobbies that you can see on some of the stems, like that. And yes, I've been in the garden, so I normally don't put gloves on. I normally just I normally just scratch in the garden with my nails and my hands, and it's not always good, so you will see all of these little markings. We love to dig in the garden. I want to stay with this brush, but I think it's not going to hold enough water, so I'm going to go with this Winsor & Newton brush. And like I said, I don't know, you can only see the Winsor & Newton there. Don't know what series it is because it's gone, and I bought it with a wooden box. I actually received it as a birthday gift from my husband many years ago, so there is no series on there, and it's a round one, so it's lovely. I've used it so many times already. So if you look after your brushes, it will last you a lifetime. And I'm going to go in very watery at first with the paper is dry here. And what I want to do is, even though there's a yellow patch in the middle, I'm going to leave that pencil line there, because we'll go back later and just leave a little highlighted section there. This is just for me to check the where I have to map the middle of the leaf on this plant. And they're not exact, and that's fine. Easy watercolors. Preferably, you do not want those little water droppings here, right there. So what I do, because otherwise it makes like a hard watercolor marking. So what I do is I just go back with my brush and lift it up and just scrub a little bit over that section so that it doesn't cause any little weird markings on your leaf there, which I will show you one for practice once it's dried. Sorry, my voice is going away. Once it's dried, you can't necessarily remove it. So let's do one practice little thing so that I can show you what I mean by that. Let's go with a sleeve here. So you're going to drop in your water. I'm going to make sure that I have a lot of pigment on here, on my brush. So and then we're going to leave that to dry like that, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So what I'm going to do is I've dried my brush on the tissue paper, and then I'm just going to lift up some of that and leave it like that, and I'll show you how it dries. And I'm also going to pick up a little bit on this side. Again, not too much water on my brush, because we can always go back later and you can map that in again or darken it a little bit later. Okay, and I'm going to go in this one. So I'm only painting the one side of the leaf for now. And I don't mind the pencil lines shining through the painting. And that side too. And also by leaving that little droplet there, it might flow back there and that cause a weird watercolor bloom. Like, you don't necessarily want it. So I just go back and I lift up some of the paint with my brush and move it around, scrub it a little bit on the paper so that it doesn't make that weird watercolor marking. We want to keep it nice. So this is what I mean with excess water on my brush. That's what's going to cause that watercolor marking that is going to stay on the leaf. Now I'm going to leave it there because this is a little study, and I want to show you exactly what's going to happen when you leave that and when you have too much paint on your brush. So now these are dry, and I'm going to go there now, and I'm going to go with a smaller brush, with this one, and even though it holds a lot less water, I'm going to make sure, so no, sorry, this one holds a lot of water, but I'm going to pick up a lot less water. So I'm going to move it around on my palette like this, and I'm also going to dab it on a piece of tissue right here, and I'm going to go and leave a highlighted section in the middle. Let me go close. I don't have all my brushes down here, and I don't want to run up and go and find one now, so I'm going to just map it in with what I have here next to me. So you see I left a little highlighted section. It's a little bit shaky because I had too much coffee, and here's my another cup of coffee. I haven't had breakfast yet, so obviously I'm a bit shaky from too much coffee. And on this one I'm going to pick up now a little bit too much water, but I want to show you what happens. So we want to map that in, leave a highlighted section there, go around there, and I'm going to move the paint around so to make sure that but then instead of leaving it like this one, I'm just going to go back immediately and just move the paint around and then pick it up with my brush. And even if you go out of the lines, that's fine too. You just go back and paint and fix it. I don't mind that because it still looks very nice. And I'm going to go in with this one and darken it a little bit. It's dry now because I want the one side to be a little bit darker than the other side. And pick up those excess little watercolors. There you go. And I'm going to leave that one to dry. Let's go to this one, and again just leave a little lighter section, but the pigment is a little bit thicker and darker on this leaf. And what you can do is maybe just mix a little bit of a blue or a grey in here. Oops, actually don't mind those little markings there. I'll fix it a little bit. Still leaving a little highlight section there. So let's mix a little bit of the ultramarine blue just on the side there, so it's just a little bit different color. Oops, sorry. Like that, and dab it on your paper, and then leave a highlighted section there between that. And you can see the difference between these two leaves, and once it dries beautifully. So it's a bit blue, so I want to just put a bit more green in now. I picked up too much. And there you go. So let's go with that one. A little bit of a darker mix there, and there you go. I'm quite happy with that. Let's go with this one. Leave a darker little section, so it doesn't matter because the paint is actually quite a different pigment, so I'm not even going to bother with painting a highlighted section there. What you can do is take a coloring pencil and just go in the middle to darken that stem there. This is just a fun little tutorial. And there you go. Move the paint around with your brush. You don't have excess pigment just in one spot of your watercolor painting, like for instance there. That is when you have excess watercolors there, and we did that deliberately so that I could show you what you don't want in watercolor. So a little bit more pigment, and then I'm gonna go in there and fix that way. And that is our beautiful little leaf that we painted for today. A little bit different green, but it's all the colors I have here, and I maybe could have mixed in a bit of yellow to get to the exact colors, but I like this and I'm going to leave it like this. So this is your little fun watercolor tutorial, easy for beginners, very quick, early morning before work watercolors, or after work watercolors, before you have to cook and clean and whatever. Also, if you're new to our channel, it will be so lovely if you subscribe, and if you hit the bell, you will be notified every time we upload a new video. So have fun and take time to paint, and I'll see you soon.